Welcome back to an episode of Unranked Podcast. Great, great weekend for the Lions and for Michigan Wolverines this past weekend. Huge, huge victories. Michigan, in a big spot, welcoming the USC to the Big Ten with some smash mouth power football, and then the Lions coming off of to the Buccaneers at home, going across the country and handling the Cardinals very well. So yeah, I'm going to kick it over to you, E. Just wanted to kind of see your thoughts. We'll start off with Michigan and USC. And just what you thought about the game and how things turned out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm beyond happy, still beyond excited how the game turned out. One of the games where you're watching it, and the whole game you're just kind of on pins and needles. The whole game you're hoping that the defense can outlast. You're hoping that the offense just can generate something. But I think if you go back and watch kind of what we said last week in the game, as far as what we thought the keys to victory would be, other than manufacturing some type of passing offense, that's exactly what we said. We said smash mouth football, orgy. We joked about the wing tee. We did not run a wing tee, but any type of option, spread option, read option play, we were doing that, and then to the bread and butter of just between the tackle runs with our run game. Um, Edwards had a very solid game, but Khalil Mullins, we got to tip our hat to him. He's just putting the team
Yeah,
on his back this year. And I mean, he had a couple of amazing runs in there, but that last fourth quarter drive where we had to score, we had to have a big play. I was thinking, we're gonna set them up for some type of play action pass here. We had, it was a weird time where if we got a good chunk play like that, we could have ran the ball, but it also, that clock was ticking fast.
yeah,
And we did not want to give the ball back to them as well. So it was kind of one of those, you kind of had to go all out and just, I forget exactly how long of a run it was, maybe 50, 60 yards. He just kind of got gassed at the end.
like
Would
65.
have been a walk-off touchdown. But, just what a way to welcome USC into the Big Ten. It seemed like we're always playing historically growing up. We're playing Carson Bush, Mike Williams, all out there at USC, basically at their home stadium for the Rose Bowl. And in 20 years later, full circle, they're in the Big Ten now. They're coming here, and and we're shoving it down the throat for a goal line victory. For the first Big Ten game. So overall, obviously, we got to figure out a passing game out, but
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest red flag on the team. Everything else, every other category, I believe you check the box in.
hmm I would say this was probably as complete a game we've played up to this point in the season. Obviously, given the lack of the passing game, but from a passing game standpoint, they didn't turn the ball over. So, um, yeah, you hit a lot of things on the head. I think I want to start with just the defense. I mean, they look a lot more consistent. They gave up some big plays, here and there. I gave up a touchdown, and Bakari Page, he's been playing a little out of rhythm the last couple weeks. So, hopefully they can continue to build off what they did well in this game and play a little bit better. Coming up here, and then um, yeah, I mean, just the gutsy effort. Like, I mean, I like the physicality from the defense, like from the start. I mean, they had Miller Moss, like, I think
Yes.
he came out there with an ankle roll, had an ankle taped up after halftime. I mean, we ended halftime with 325-pound Kenny Grant, literally like, slam him into the ground for a
Yeah.
sack. Like he looked shell shocked. We were able to weather the storm in the third quarter. And yeah, just had just enough in the fourth to make things happen. But yeah, like I said, as far as the season, man, we're gonna be Iowa footballing people.
Yes.
it's gonna look like this, unfortunately. I do think the passing game is gonna improve just if Loveland can come back. We can get Orgy a little bit, a few more reps. Be taking like majority, QB1 reps in practice now. But yeah, I mean this is like a season saving victory.
Yeah.
I think this is like, yeah, huge.
I think I agree. I think it's one of the things that you can build your hat on for the program. I think we were,
Hmm.
as fan base, we were kind of sputtering, like, what are we doing here? We
Yeah.
don't look, we came on. I mean, truth be told, we restarted the recording last week because we came on way too, like, we almost lost the game. So I think we were. kind of down as a fan base, and I think this kind of can rejuvenate the team itself and the fan base, and kind of get everybody behind this. And I agree with you. I want to know why he wasn't able to get up to speed quicker, but that's maybe a question for a different day. But Orgy getting to get QB1 reps in practice, offense built completely around his skill set, completely around what
Mm-hmm.
throws he can make, the runs he can make, kind of the chess piece between the both of those. I think we've only seen some wrinkles into what they can do, but you hit it right on overs. That's the biggest thing. That you talk to any coach, any high level football guy, they're going to say that's one of the first things on the list they're going to name about the quarterback is you cannot turn that
Mm-hmm.
ball. And you can see how you can win a game having 32 passing yards, not turning the ball over once, versus throwing for maybe throwing for not 300, but throwing for let's say 150 with an interception or two or a fumble and interception. That
Yeah.
changes the dynamic of the game. Your defense is firing on all cylinders. They weathered the storm. Um, that team beat somebody 48-0 the week before. They had everybody talking about Miller Moss. He is, and we kind of like you said, we beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
He got happy feet, and those whether we got sacks or not, all those hits paid dividend to their offense just being knocked off their rhythm a little bit, knocked off their rhythm enough, and Will Johnson. I mean, what can you say about Will Johnson? A lockdown corner. We have seen him guard Marvin Harrison, Smith and Jigba, Rome Meduze. I mean, he's going up. So I can't think of anybody. Maybe Ohio State got some boys, maybe Oregon got some boys, whatever. I can't think of anybody that would be more dynamic than any of the guys I just named that he'll have to guard this year. And I don't know what he's seen. There's nothing he has not been thrown as far as his way, from offensive scheme point, and you could see him just firing on all cylinders. 2 pick sixes this year already. That one was a thing of beauty versus USC.
Mm-hmm.
You read
He,
that,
he ironically has more touchdowns than our wide receivers do.
which is shameful. But I think and obviously a lot of things can change. The corners, he doesn't return kicks or anything like that. But I seen a mock draft that had him going 1 overall.
Yeah,
Uh, I think
real
he's
deal.
definitely that high caliber where he'll be off the board top 7, top 10 for sure. And he's one of the anchors of our defense alongside obviously Mason Graham and Grant. So I mean, I think we have so many pieces around that if that offense can turn it up a little bit,
Yeah.
um, with teams like Minnesota coming up this week, but obviously a tough nosed Big Ten team. They've had kind of they're kind of sway back and forth between seeing like they might be kind of a team that might be budding at making some noise, and then they kind of have a real down year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there at 2-2 this year. 2-point loss to North Carolina. I can't think of who they just played, but they're sitting there at 2-2. And so, kind of, I guess, what are your early thoughts on Minnesota? You know, and just kind of what do you expect from the team? What do you kind of just
Yeah.
generally thoughts on this Minnesota game?
Yeah. So ironically, they played Iowa last week, and Iowa had like 67 passing yards and beat them like 31-7. So I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of times in college, like just kind of make some comparisons, just kind of, who played who and what we kind of look like compared to, who they just played. I mean, I think this is a good opportunity for us to just lean on the defense, not turn the ball over. Hopefully Orji can keep the defense a little honest. I do worry that there's gonna be a load the box, you know what I mean, and just like try to like make us pay. So hopefully we can, maybe he's comfortable with like, a little RPO or maybe like play action, like take a couple of deep shots to just kind of keep the defense honest. But um yeah, I mean I think this would be an opportunity where we can just out physical them, um, you know, take care of the ball. And yeah, I mean, they don't have any game breakers, on running back, receiver, anybody that, Michigan hasn't seen better than anybody Michigan hasn't seen. Some of these guys have seen in the last couple of years. So quarterbacks transfer from like New Hampshire. I saw him play week 1. They played North Carolina. He did not look great. I mean, obviously you get better as the season goes on, but um, this is gonna be one of the opportunities where we gotta, same formula as last week. Just hold on to the ball, establish the run, and yeah, just try to outscore them and get some help on defense too. Even scoring on them as well. So
Yeah, I watched a good amount of that North Carolina game week 1 too. Obviously tough loss to them. And then obviously North Carolina is uh, um, kind of just a mid level school as far as football goes.
mhm.
They have some up years, some down years, but then so you don't think too much about that loss, I guess, and then you turn around and North Carolina gets the brakes beat off on by James Madison,
But
and
yeah,
so
so that kind of tells you.
yeah, it kind of tells you, okay, what are you guys doing there? And then Iowa comes to town. Iowa's a poor man's Michigan as far as everything across the board, and then you get steamrolled there. So,
Mhm.
and obviously 67 passing yards is more than double than we produced. But I would like to say I think the USC team is just a little more high powered, and
Yep. Better
they
athletes.
better athletes. So we're gonna have to come. That D line is gonna have to come firing. The linebacker is gonna have to come up, play. It's gonna be that whole game is going to be played within like 8 yards of the line of scrimmage from both sides of the ball. So we definitely have the roster to do it, the capability to do it. It's just adding layer to layer. I think week to week, like you said, whether it's the RPO or whether it's just finding out what plays Orgy is comfortable with throwing and slinging it. And obviously, we didn't need to do it too much. We had 200 rushing yards at half last week, and I think we were able to rely on that run game so much that if we can produce any more passing game throughout there, I think it just helps the whole nucleus of what we're doing. But this
Very
Minnesota school doesn't scare me or intimidate me too much. I think we'll be able to go there and kind of just slowly lean on them throughout the game.
hmm
That run game, like you said, getting Loveland back. That's a quarterback's best friend, like a reliable tight end guy underneath intermediate check down city. I think that's only going to help, and I think I would be willing to bet to this date Loveland probably has more catches than all of our receivers put together. So I think
Yeah, definitely
considering that and just how much he uh
gravitate. Like,
the whole offense can flow through him kind of. He's one of those type of tight ends. So I think just slowly adding to that, and then defense, coming ready to play. We're going to begin to stop passing Will Johnson's way here soon. And then like you
Jair
said,
Hill looked
just
great too.
yeah, yes,
The other side finally got a
clear
QB
cut.
too.
Mm-hmm. Finally, yes. And then just kind of just having everything else come into play. Oh my God, I'm blanking on my man's name. He's been making so much.
Yeah,
Stewart.
Stewart. Yep.
Yeah, Isaiah Stewart, bro. He's a man child, and I think just that's the type we need one of them guys that wake up on the edge with those two beasts we got in the middle. So one of those
hmm
players wake up. I think that defense can turn up another level as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking for this game where we're playing just kind of a run of the mill squad and come here and really execute on all levels, and then we can have a pretty cushy victory, I think.
Definitely. Yeah. So we can go ahead and just hit some score predictions. I feel like I'll go ahead and start. I'm looking at like I don't know, I'm just feeling like a 24-10. Yeah, I think we'll hopefully lead with the run game. Just make them one dimensional as soon as possible. Like you said, it's not Miller Moss, not Quinn Ewers. Um, and force correct into a couple mistakes. And yeah, just play keep away, really just establish the run and hopefully get some more momentum through the pass game.
Yeah. I think we were pretty much right in line with you. I was going to go 30-14. I think we'll be able to just power run game, be able to put some points on the board, play keep away a little bit, and I think we got that good flow going between him and between Mullins and Edwards. If you wake both those beasts up, I think you're just kind of rolling them in and out, and I think that's kind of what we'll mix that in with some QB runs, some spread option. I think our offense is going to begin to, I think they did all that off 1 week. So you do that again. That's kind of how
Yeah,
I'm go.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, and I'm
But I'd be
looking forward
happy with
to it.
either one. I'd be happy with either one. Just go ahead and stack another victory up, another
Definitely.
clean game from Orgy. you give me hovering around 60% completions, 100 yards, make some real throws, whatever, I think that, and no turnovers. I think
Yeah,
we'll be spot on.
definitely. No, yeah, you hit it right on the head there. Yeah, we're gonna shift gears to Sunday. Another great victory. Lions took care of business against the Cardinals. Yeah, I'm just excited. I think a lot of times we talked about just through the offseason was how, you know, I think we're in a spot now to where the defense can kind of pick up the slack for the offense, in some of these situations this season because of the pieces we brought in. And this is a perfect example of that game, to where uh, I mean, we went down there and scored first, kind of put pressure on them. They came down and scored, but I mean, we still held them to 6 points the rest of the game. While even in the offense looked better, obviously there's some opportunities here. Probably could have put a couple more on the board, but just a strong victory on the road, especially coming off of a tough loss at home. So yeah, we'll go ahead and kick it over to you and just see what your thoughts were on our win against the Cardinals.
Yeah, it was a game that I was slightly nervous going into. I think they have, we maybe a couple elements of kryptonite that they could have potentially gave us. Running quarterback, shifty quarterback in the pocket has been our arch nemesis over the last couple of years. Big time receiver. We didn't know what to do with those over the last, let's call it final 5, 6 games of last year. We've just, come here and set the record against us. So I think, I was nervous about those things going into the game, and I think we handled them well. 13 points, you'll take that from your defense any day of the week. And just kind of, their offense looked out of whack. We were doing enough to keep it funky. We were doing enough to just kind of have, it wasn't a big sack game from Hutch, but, he was still being disruptive. And it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting just to watch people maneuver around him and how just he can, if we can get that other book and defensive end on our, obviously
Together.
Davenport went down. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little more, but just you could see how teams are having to play him and just how dynamic he is. So it's just the sky's the limit as far as the defense can go. Because
Mm-hmm.
cornerbacks are young, um, and so just kind of looking at that big picture, but from the offensive standpoint, thank God we pounded a rock. We yeah, that's what we've been asking for. I think that's our recipe to success. We began to like or love Jared Goff. He that is our quarterback. I will give him that. But he is best, and I think even he would probably admit this. He's best with a powerful run game, with a play action.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. Every quarterback is better with that. And I think we have to find a way to just have that be the focal point. And
Right.
I'm
No
taking this.
balance. Like that has to be like
Yeah,
65,
that's
45 or 65,
yes,
35.
35. Yep, every day of the week. And we have everything to do it. The offensive line is robust. A couple of running backs. We have versatile tight ends. I think we have everything in our on our roster to prove that we can go and do this. And I think teams can't stop the run. So why not pound the rock?
Yeah.
So I think I was very glad to see that, just kind of back to basics, heavy dose of the run, and then kind of build your offense around that. And then the last thing I would say is, I'm stealing this from a tweet I read or something, but we're the first team since '06 to have two running backs with 70 yards in the first 3 games.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, all purpose. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
all
way
purpose.
that
So
the way
just
you're using them right now is just like awesome. Like you got like the sledgehammer with the Montgomery because I know they got tired of seeing him mid fourth, late fourth quarter. I mean, it got the time where like they picked him up and carried him for like 7, 8 yards.
oh my god.
Um, but man, how dope is that hook and ladder?
Yeah,
Like
we
I saw Gibbs kind of creeping out the backfield. I'm like, oh wait a minute, and he just like it was just perfect.
it was.
Like, and I mean, he went around that edge, and we unfortunately hurt Laporta a little bit of a sprain. He got rolled up on as Gibbs went into the end zone. But yeah, I mean, I think the offense it sputtered a little bit still, but it just takes time. I mean, I think for me, I'm just excited the defense is just like, we don't got guys just getting going crazy, on us, as far as a lot of yards and a lot of third down completions. Especially, I mean, I think they were 1 on 9 on third down this past game when they've that was our like Achilles heel last year.
Right.
So good all
One
around bounce back game.
one thing, yeah, I agree. One thing we have not talked about, and it's just a potential area is Terrion Arnold just being Flag City. Just getting
Yeah,
um, I know through the first two games he's the most penalized player in the whole league. And I think he's kind of getting picked on a little bit. So I want to see how he kind of matures around that because that can be kind of devastating to a young cornerback.
for
And
sure. And
he,
he's got like a hand and he's like sick, like a knee. So I think he clamped up
yeah, he
Marvin
got some
Harrison
ailments
pretty
going
well for
on.
the most part.
Yeah, no, he
But
is. It's interesting to
he's
see.
too physical.
Yeah, 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 and I wanted to see how he kind of settles into that a little bit. Just because
Mhm.
we need all these players firing on high cylinder because the goal is a championship, and
Right.
you know, and you continue at this pace, people are just going to be. They know that you'll beat the shit out of the wide receiver up the field and just
Right.
kind of
Targeting. Yeah.
use it as a third down conversion. So yeah, I just wanted to see kind of your early thoughts on that, but um, I know the clock's ticking on us here. So kind of going to the Seahawks, a team that we have had, uh, coming to town on Monday night here. They've had our number, I should say, over the last handful of
Yeah.
years. We know Gino's back. Rashard got his career
Ruminated.
rejuvenated here.
Yeah.
So
He's looking
kind of,
good.
he's been sitting there for a while. We know what they bring to town. New coach. Uh,
Here with him.
Mike McDonald, right? So we are very familiar with him as well. So I just think in kind of what are your thoughts on kind of the Seahawks coming to town and how important is this game to kind of build upon our victory last week and then not we always talk
Yeah.
about the quarters. How important is this game to not drop it and go 2-2 during this the first quarter?
Yeah. And I think the key man is going to be the defense. I mean, I think that's what it was last year. Is they just out schemed us, couldn't get off the field. We were in a shootout. We gave them 14. Jared Goff threw the pick six. Montgomery fumbled at like 25-yard line, like right out the second half. So I mean, for me, I think it's really just simple. Just run game. We're gonna test their defense. They haven't really played high level quarterback either. They played Bo Nix, Skylar Thompson, and Jacoby Brissett. Those are some of the people they played, and I think all those teams will probably end up having losing records when the season's all over with. So I think this will be opportunity for us. Monday Night Football, place is gonna be rocking. New uniforms, they rocking the ones I'm not crazy about with the black blue helmet, black with the blue, something along those like. We'll see how they're gonna look though on the field. But I think it's just a good opportunity to get some get back. Like I think it's like we lost like either 10 straight or 8 out of the last 10. Um, they're down Kenneth Walker. But we know those receivers, Metcalf, Smith and Jigba, we know him very well. Gotta, make sure we know where those guys are at. I think, it's gonna be, I think their O-line a little average. So I feel like we can get, the pass rush going and just keep everybody in front of us and continue to play how we playing defense the last few weeks. We'll be sitting pretty.
Yeah, I think makes great points. I think just first and foremost, in, until we can, let's say halfway through the season and we haven't went off on yet, the defense is still kind of very touchy for me. And in particular, playing a guy like Metcalf. I mean, Metcalf is, obviously top 5-7 in the league for sure. He's one-on-one threat, just a
Yeah.
physical matchup or a nightmare versus anybody. So
Mhm.
obviously, and I think we don't as far as I can tell, we don't really rotate our guys a lot. So if you stay on one side, you stay on one side. We're not like moving Carlton Davis around to guard so and so every single time, or to guard the X or to guard Z. So I wonder if kind of how we're gonna play that. But just offensive wise, we said it before, we said it again, 65-35, pound that rock, play action. kind of keep doing an interesting plays too. You said, that Gibbs touchdown or the William JMO like reverses
And the
and
rounds, yeah.
end around, just little things like that.
Flea
I think will
flickers.
just kind of jumpstart big plays in our offense. Personally, still, I have a heart attack every time we go to punt the ball, whatever. I just think we're gonna, go. I think just strategically still use those, but I don't like using going to that well one too many times as far as like a fake punt from your own 20-yard line. I just get terrified every time we go out there still. And I seen an interview with Golf said that he didn't even know that was gonna happen, so he had to run back on the field. But just little things like that, I think we, don't shoot ourselves in the foot is basically what I'm trying to say.
For
Clean
sure.
game from off. And then just that defense continue to play at this level here. I think that offense will turn around and we'll I mean, we can produce the top 12 defense with a top 5 offense. That's the type of if the dominoes fall right, you're in that championship game. So
Yeah, that's exactly it. We get a couple more stops a game. We like I'm yeah, I mean obviously we already moved on to Seattle, but just like holding Kyler Murray to like 45 yards rushing after a 20-yard run, last game. And I know Gino's no burner, but we just got to keep him in the pocket and
yeah,
just get hands on him. I think there are a lot of times where we're like sometimes I feel like Hutch is almost like running past people when he's like trying to sack them to where it's like we got to just get in front of them, keep them in the pocket, make them uncomfortable early. We got Reader back there. Hopefully Aleem, is back, or I know he's day to day right now. Got Branch with a concussion, so at least we got an extra day, for a lot of these guys to have some more time to hopefully play or come back and play on Monday. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to, I think, Calvin Johnson getting inducted into the Ring of Honor, Monday night. So it's only right that, you know, last time, his last time playing in Seattle, we were out in the playoffs and we got robbed off of
yeah.
a no call on the offensive face mask. So it'd be nice to it'd be nice to get a victory, while we celebrate him at the same time.
Both his playoff games were just complete robberies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like one score losses, the Saints one, yeah, ridiculous.
Or I'm thinking of it. Was it the Cowboys, not the playoffs? We played. I mean,
Oh, actually, if I'm thinking there's three, because I know
yeah.
the Saints, there's a fumble that was questionable that we
Yep.
took back, but they just said it was incomplete. Then you had the Cowboys debacle.
Yes.
Yeah, then you had
Three.
the no
All three of them.
call. Yeah, so we was in there, we was competing. They just didn't want us to be great. So yeah,
No,
it'd be nice
we
to
weren't in the script. We weren't
right.
in the
We
script
weren't in the
then, but I think
cards.
we are now. We rolled in now. So
Right, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we
but
part
no,
of the
man,
story now.
I think this game is going to be a good one. Obviously, Monday night. I hate having to wait all the way to Monday to watch them. But it is the whole world way to showcase what you guys can do as far as the squad goes. And you have a 3-4 sack game on a Monday night, but you're getting yourself into defensive player of the year type conversation. Um,
Yeah,
you get you get your paws on that ball in any way, shape, or form. You're catapulting your superstardom there. So I just think it is Branch be clear to come back.
he's still in protocol. He's day to
Yeah,
day.
yeah. So hopefully we can get somebody big like him back just to kind of float around back there, lurking. But I think we got, I feel pretty good about it. So, you kind of want to jump into score predictions.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say, man, I think we'll win a close. I think it's gonna be like, I'm saying 27-24. Think it'll not 30, let's do 31-27. It'd be a little bit of shootout action.
Yeah. I'm cool with you on that. I was gonna go right. I don't want to give the same score, but I'll change it up a little bit. Let me go 27-20
Okay.
Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about it. But no, we got some big time football coming up here again. Hopefully we just keep stacking these victories for both these squads here. You got anything else for the people?
Oh, so I got go blue, go Lions. We'll see y'all next week.
Blue, go Lions.